The ethnography division in NCA was started right as I was finishing my graduate studies. And it has really, so in a way for me, it's always been there. I don't remember trying to get my work accepted at NCA before it existed. So for me, the history of the ethnography division is a very long one, where for others it may feel very short in the context of their careers. But the thing that I remember most about the ethnography division's beginnings are the people who began the division, who went to the effort of getting permission to found a division and recruiting enough people to get it going. And those were people like Carolyn Ellis and Art Bachner and Bud Goodall and Bob Kriesek and many others who were involved very early on. And I think that inescapably then, the tenor or tone of the division, the type of work that we represented, was really shaped by the type of people who were involved in founding it. And I don't think that's good or bad. I just think it's inevitable, right? So the reason that this group of people had really sought to have the ethnography division, or one of the big reasons, is that ethnographic work, particularly that which was more artistically represented, was simply not welcome in most of the other divisions. It was very hard to get work accepted that started to blur the boundaries of art and science. And so the ethnography division, I think, was imagined as a home for work such as autoethnography and performative work and ethnography that really ask questions about who we are as ethnographers as much as who our participants are when we research with them. And so the division was founded and really privileged for the first time in the Communication Association this very artistic autoethnographic approach to ethnography. And I think that's great. I really do. But for me, the history of the division is very much one that I associate almost exclusively with that type of work. And when I attend panels and go to the business meeting, the type of people I see are the type of people that I know from the University of South Florida, where Carolyn Ellis was my advisor. So what I see to some degree, and what I hope to see to an even greater degree over time, is the division continuing to provide a wonderful home for work that is truly artistic and experimental and creative, and what Laurel Richardson called creative analytical practices, right? Work that really does bring art out of social science data and out of the fabric of our daily lives. I hope that it continues to foster a real home for that kind of work while making a broader effort to recruit ethnographers who are doing very different types of work that is more in line with a more traditional social science approach. Autoethnographers did not begin ethnography in communication. There's a large and long tradition of symbolic interactionists and early communication scholars who were very interested in ethnographic methods, but who talked about their results in ways that conform to a more traditional way of talking about our research. And a lot of my work still adheres to traditional social scientific writing standards. And by that, I don't mean that I use third person and pretend that I'm not there as an author. I mean that I still talk about themes and patterns and research literature in a way that does not uphold objectivity, but which does look at the typical case and the patterns that exist in a particular situation. And the type of context that I study tend to be healthcare. So I want to be able to have more and more conversations and invite people from other divisions whose work is really exciting and truly ethnographic. And I want to make space for that work, even if it isn't in line with the more artistic forms. And I think those artistic forms, which we need to continue to value, don't need to be the only or even the predominant form that we value in the ethnography division. I'm a proponent of multi-genre representation. I really think that one of the best and to me, most exciting ways to represent our research is by employing a continuum approach to understanding representation and analysis in qualitative research as existing along a vast continuum from science to art. And I encourage people to mix it up, to take one set of data or one set of empirical materials and represent it in a variety of fashions, in multiple genres. So some film or photography, some poetry or narrative, and some fairly traditional, say, grounded theory or other kinds of inductive forms of analysis. A way of thinking about that, based on Laurel Richardson's work that I've developed, is called crystallization. And the idea of bringing together these multiple genres that cross the continuum, to me, is one of the most exciting things that I see emerging. I am trying to name and to put forward this approach, but I'm certainly not the only person practicing it. Others have been engaging in a wide range of practices in large research projects, and I hope that more and more the Ethnography Division can be in conversation with the Health Communication Division, the Disability Issues Caucus, the Organizational Communication Division, and the Social Constructionism Division, and other groups that are really into ethnographic methods, but which employ perhaps some different epistemologies and forms of representations. So that, I think, is both a great opportunity and a bit of a challenge. I mean, I think that the Ethnography Division has become known as a place for art, and I hope that it continues to be one, but I hope that we enlarge the reputation of the division as being a place for many types of representation and many types of analysis, and really, in a broader sense, just many types of sense-making. So that will be both an exciting opportunity and, I think, a big challenge for many people in times to come.